in terms of character formation, how did the Islamic schools that you studied go about developing personal and civic virtues in their kids, in their students?
Well, there were really two things that seemed most crucial. One was the example of the staff of the schools. The kids often mentioned that, and the staff often mentioned that they felt a very strong obligation to be examples of how to live in this society. That included, by the way, the staff who were not Muslim. A number of the schools had staff. In fact, I think all of the schools had staff who were non-Muslims, who were hired because the school needed somebody who could teach calculus or whatever it was, and had no handy Muslim available to do that. It was particularly interesting talking to those staff about how they sort of navigated the situation of trying to be examples for these kids, even though they did not share the religious basis of the model.
Yeah.
So that was a very important aspect. The other very important aspect surprised us a little. It was the Islamic studies classes. Now that's different from the Quran classes in which the kids were studying Quran and studying Arabic. Islamic studies classes were classes, and I sat in on some of those, in which the kids were talking with a teacher of how Islam should play out in their lives. Now, like all teenagers, they have enormous number of questions about how they ought to be thinking about themselves, how they ought to be feeling about other people, boy-girl relationships, which are a very fraught issue because the schools generally, although the boys and girls were together in classes, they were not supposed to be interacting socially often, and that is very, very hard for 15, 16-year-old kids. So in those classes, they felt they were free to discuss the kinds of issues that they were really dealing with. And I found fascinating that a number of them contrasted this with their experience previously attending public schools, in which they said it wasn't possible to discuss those kinds of issues because the teachers were afraid somebody might be offended if you raise the issue of, well, I don't know, I won't even go into examples, but the kinds of things the kids are often concerned about.
Sure.
The teachers were not so open as the teachers in the Islamic studies class. That I found an astonishing finding.
That is interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.